Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Art of cycling, although today it's art of wine, which is an art in and of itself, isn't it? So, the previous video you saw me printing. This is one that I had printed earlier, and now it's dry enough that I can start painting it. So that's I think I've talked about in that video. One of my dilemmas with this methodology is that I have to allow for drying time, which, given that I've worked most frequently in watercolors and these paint sticks straight, a little antithetical for me. And so I have discovered why a lot of particularly oil painters will work on multiple paintings at the same time. Also something I don't tend to do. So clearly I've got some decisions to make about shadows and glass color and background color and all that kind of stuff. None of which I've made yet. But I'll discover that as I go along. And again, that's part of my whole methodology is I don't come to these things by artwork meaning too predetermined. I prefer to make the discoveries along the way, which can lead to problems. Good problems most of the time. But art making to me is about discovery. And if I'm not discovering, I'm not altogether sure what I'm doing. Which is also true, I'm not altogether sure what I'm doing. Right now I'm looking for my purple paint stick. So this piece will go through. I'll probably do this. I think I might do the back and forth shadows on this one. So I'm just going to push forward on this, switch over to time lapse like as per usual, and let you see how it goes from there in something resembling real time without me offering anecdotal stories, although I suppose that's part of the fun of these things, of these videos. My wife watches a lot of the she does the junk journals, and there's a lot of YouTubers doing junk journals, and dominantly women. Not that that means anything, but there's a whole lot of personal life storytelling going on, enough that it really becomes quite entertaining. So I don't quite know if that's what I should be doing or not. What do y'all think? Should I give you my sneak peeks? Bare my soul is it? Well, not my soul. I don't have one. I don't know about that orange square. Right now, we'll let it stand. Oh, that's the purple. So part of this is going to be that these glasses are going to be repetitive order, but because it's 3 different colors, that order, the rows will start with a different color each time. And hopefully that will leave the thing a little more engaging to look at. Now, I think I ended up doing this on the wrong side of the paper. Oops. It's not quite as toothy as it should be, or as I like it to be. Which means you get a little slippy sliding on the oil stick. I do like that they've stopped calling these paint sticks and went back to oil stick. It's such a change that I had to double check and make sure it was the same brand. So I got these from Dick Blick, the new ones. I'm not aware of Dick Blick. It's a really good art supply website. I prefer to buy from my local art supply store, but they have seen fit not to stock these. Don't really know why. So, if you're curious about anything with this, please leave me a comment. I will respond. So if you're curious about any particular technical issues or things you want me to address either on camera or I can respond to you directly. And I have had people ask about doing live videos. I need to get back to that too. Oh, so many things, so little time, right? I think that's going to go well. So of course the next is going to be rosé. Nothing like a good dry rosé on a hot day, right? Not that, who was the brand that made the really sweet rosés? Or the white Zins? Or a good Provençal rosé. Such a tasty treat. rosés always remind me of the south of France. Place I need to get back to. I had such a lovely time in Nîmes many years ago. Just adding a little bit of orange. Adding a little bit too much orange. The orange is a great combination, particularly how you do the layering gives you this salmon color that I enjoy. It got a little muddy, but that's okay. So much of the, and that's why I'm sitting here wiping off the stick, is to make sure there's not the wrong color there, because so much of this is controlling the color, controlling the blends. I opened a new white one, I might as well use it. Alright, I really am going to switch now. I swear. Oh, naturally, of course, that's just out of camera. Oh well. I love giving you the little secrets. So I'm back into this piece. A lot's been going on, but life is difficult. Sometimes it can be very difficult to get into the studio with all that life likes to deal with. No excuse. I mean, I've been doing some other work and making some deals and such, but this painting had to get set aside for a little bit, so I'm back at it, and I realized I haven't posted a video in a while either, so I wanted to get back in here and get some more work done and share it with you. So of course still working on this wine glass piece. I do like the way it's going, and I like the scale. This one's smaller than the martini glass ones have been. One, I just wanted to play around the scale just a little bit, and then I tend to price work by size, which may not be the best resolution, but I've experimented because a lot of artists, and at one point myself included, would sort of go, price the ones you like best more, but that is such a subjective thing, and I know I've talked about, a painting that appeals to me or doesn't appeal to me for various reasons, because it came really easily or I didn't discover anything. Others have, just absolutely adored because it did exactly what it should have done. And a good chunk of why I paint is to make discoveries. And the painting does exactly what I wanted it to and expected it to. I didn't really learn anything along the way. Does that make sense? So, those quote unquote very successful paintings can be very unsuccessful from the learning point of view. So it's a long way around saying the paintings I like are not necessarily the right reason to price a painting more or less. So, and then of course I don't have a great memory. Like I don't remember what I've told you all already or not. So I also will turn the sound down. So, you know, people come into the studio and I need to be able to quote a price for the painting they're looking at. And it's just easier for me to go, oh, it's this big, therefore it's that price. And that just strikes me as an easier way to do it. So, one of the reasons for playing around with some smaller ideas is to generate some smaller prices. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is pull a chair over. Because as this gets lower down, squatting down to work on the piece gets a little more difficult. It's getting old isn't for the birds or the faint of heart. So this way I can have a little more control of the media. So I'm just trying to sort of work through these different areas of color, and part of what I'm doing there is making sure that the color by the particular wine glass and the particular color of wine doesn't, what's the word I want? Sorry. Helps the wine, the color of the wine pop out more from the background. Apparently I can't talk today. It's one of the things, you know, I bartend several nights a week, more than I don't, and I have to talk all night long. So those nights when I don't work, I think I kind of forget how to talk. So the next one's going to be red. I don't know if you can see these little R, P, W. So the idea was to have this sort of repeating pattern, and I wanted 4 glasses so the pattern, each line was a different, you know, this one begins red, this one begins pink, this one begins white, and then we go back to red again. And so there's this, now in the other one that I have already printed, I've decided that it will be, I use a random method of rolling dice to select what color of wine, what variety, or to use the hoity-toity waiter term, what varietal of wine. I guess actually it's variety and varietal both. If my dogs are upset about something, you probably can't hear them though. They're in the house and I'm out here in the studio, and that might be what's got them upset. So a number of years ago now, I think 25, I built this studio behind my house. And when I say I built it, the only thing I didn't do was set the foundational block. Which also means I never finished it. Huh, there's the cool light. So I can hear what's going on in the house, and I'm right nearby, but I'm also away. I'm not. It was great when the kids were teeny boppers because I could be out here working and they could have a certain degree of autonomy, but then I could also just walk in on them, and they knew that. So there's a little bit of self-editing going on. So I'm just peeling the paper off so that it's just pure pigment on the stick, and that way when I mix, it doesn't just sort of rub across the surface, but it actually mixes in. All right, this will take a while, so I will spare you the watching me work. Well, I understand people like watching me paint, but perhaps don't enjoy listening to me ramble as much. So I was working up to saying I was going to go to time lapse, but I think I may just do a little quiet painting. Since you can hear the music, I will tell you I'm listening to public radio, the Richmond, where I live, Richmond, Virginia's public radio station. And I think this is the American Roots radio show. Seems to be particularly country today. Not my preferred genre. So, in the previous pieces, I didn't, and this probably isn't actually the correct shadow either, in fact I know it isn't, but I didn't deal with some sort of indication of the liquid in the glass, and I've somehow decided that this circle would be a nice element. It isn't exactly how the shadow would cast, but clearly I'm not trying to be totally true to nature here. At least I hope you think that's clear. First off, I don't know quite how you would have glasses lined up like this with shadows going opposite directions. All things are possible, right? That's a red anyway. actually listening to Mountain Stage.
And his band. The latest one is called Family Ties. Charles Wesley Gardner.
Oh, the audience liked it.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Yarl and Pamela Moe, focusing on civil liberties, foster youth, public radio, and the arts. And from the Walton Family Foundation, working to solve social and environmental problems to improve lives today and benefit future generations. More
All right, I'm
information.
gonna let you watch this in fast time now. One, so the video isn't so terribly long. And two, because I really enjoy watching that stuff. All right, so now you've seen the process. I'm down to the last glass of wine. And it might be time to have my glass of wine, right? So, yeah, I never drink while I'm working. I've known artists who do. I'm just not one who can. Nor am I interested in it. It's not so much I can't as that I don't. It's too much I have to think about and work on and, consider and rapid fire thought process. So, well, you've seen just how rapid I am, right? Maybe not so. But I just couldn't imagine trying to make good work while intoxicated. There's too much involved. So, took a break. My wife came home from going out with friends, and we chatted for a bit and had a bite to eat. The news. So I'm going to turn that off. Sorry about that. So, and then one of the things, and my wife always has, and I know I've talked about it before, helped me with titling the paintings. And I've kind of learned her methodology or thought process on titling. But we debated back and forth with this one. She didn't like my ideas, I didn't like hers. It's not like I just, she tells me a title and I go, okay, that's it. But, so we arrived at one, and I will reveal that when I sign it here in just a minute. So it's just this last glass of red wine that I have to get done here. I do have some Old Vine Zinfandel in the house. Might be an appropriate choice for tonight. I don't have any rosé, so it won't be that. And I'm more of a red wine drinker anyway. When I drink, which is not, at least wine is not very often. I drink other things a little more often. But we were sort of playing around with some various ideas. I was thinking about Bacchus. We played around with ideas using the sort of referring to the rainbow quality of this, like, wine for us all, cheers to us all, those kinds of ideas. But what we came up with is socially. And I think, wine more than most drinks is consumed socially, or social occasions. And then my name, which is illegible. That says Greg Leach, you believe me? And then today's date, shit. Sorry, shoot. 24th or 25th? 24th. I've been dating so many of these wrong. Sometimes getting the year wrong, sometimes getting the date wrong. So that's the piece. That's the way I sign them. There's a little speck here I don't like. There. Really nice texture. Whoops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to kick the camera. Here, one sec.